Hi, this is Stephen Downs with another episode of Stephen Follows Instructions. This time, this is my first edition on my new fiber backbone network. So I'm sending this to you at 1.5 gigabits per second. Well, actually, no, it's probably a bit closer to 10 or 20 megabits per second, depending on what YouTube will take in. And I've got my OBS still configured for the old setup, but should be doing this without any issues with bandwidth. YouTube Studio says I have an excellent connection, so feeling pretty good about things. So what am I up to today? I'm up to installing the new version of Moodle 4, and instead of installing it on a web server and all of that, I want to install it on a Docker container, or in a Docker container, on Reclaim Cloud, because ideally this should be the fastest and the cheapest way to get your own Moodle up and running. Not straightforward though. So let's pop over to the old right screen. There you can see the YouTube dashboard here with my excellent connection. So I'll be looking away from the camera most of the time. That's just because I got things set up different, so don't take it personally. So let's go to Moodle. Here's Moodle 4, new look, better user experience, and all of that. And it wasn't easy to figure out where I'm going to go. I could go to downloads. Okay, check out the latest release. So I can download it directly like that, but that's going to give me a great big blob to install. So maybe there's a better way of going about it. Well, I did some digging around. There's Moodle documentation, and get started, installation, quick guide, etc. And again, you're getting it directly from the GitHub. You have to mess around with your database and all of that. Yeah, I could do that, but I'd really rather install it in the cloud, because I don't want to have to run, a whole server just to do this. I suppose I should, but I don't want to. So anyhow, like I say, I did some digging around and came up on Bitnami LMS powered by Moodle, and that will allow me to run it in the cloud. And when I checked, whoops, that's not where I want to be. When I checked, so I'll click on Docker here, and now nothing's going to happen. Oh, that's because I was on Docker. Okay. So here, Docker Hub, Debian, Azure, or AWS container, but I want it to work on Reclaim. So, let's click here. Now I'm into the bit where I haven't figured things out yet. So, what is Bitnami LMS powered by Moodle LMS? TLDR, curl stuff. Okay, I see. So you have to download a Docker Compose file. That's what the curl tells us, right? And store it into a file called Docker Compose. And then we run the Docker Compose. So what I'm going to want, yes, this quick setup is only intended for development environments. You are encouraged to change the insecure default credentials and check out the available configuration options in the environment sections, in the environment variables section for a more secure deployment. Okay, makes sense to me. Why use the images, blah, 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 to do it in Kubernetes. I still haven't figured out Kubernetes. I can barely figure out how to pronounce it, but there we go. Okay. Or I could just do the Docker pull for the latest image, but no, the TLDR is what I like to see. So let's go then to Reclaim Cloud. Reclaim Cloud. So here we are. Hi, Jim. So I'm just going to log in. Oops. Hopefully you can't see that on the screen. Autofill. I do love using a password manager. Okay, DevOps PaaS platform as a service. Alright, so as you can see, I've been running a bunch of things on Reclaim Cloud for a little while. Pretty happy with how this is going so far. But, okay, I want to create a new environment. And I want, maybe this is how I want to do it. Cancel. Marketplace. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Now, seems to me somewhere in here is Docker. No, Ghost Docker. No, it's not. I always forget how to do this. Every single time I forget. New environment. Okay. Docker. Okay. No, that's not how I want to do it either. There's a way. Cancel that. There's a way to just start up a Docker. Let's just type Docker. Docker Engine CE. That's it. Alright. See, I don't know why this is so hard to find always. So just every time I forget. Every time. Every single time. Okay, so it's preparing the environment. So it's going to take a few minutes. Often this is the longest step, waiting for this. So so basically what I'm expecting to happen, and in fact, why don't I just curl this right from my own desktop here and we'll have a look at it. So let's kill this previous thing I had going. I found, if you're wondering what I'm up to here, oh, it's not going to close. Okay. It should. Control X, escape, Control Q. Nothing's going to stop this. Ooh, this changes. Ooh. I don't know what I did. Did this discard all of these changes? Your current working set will be forever lost. Oh, I don't know what I've done. I'll just close it. Alright, now let's reopen it. Okay, VS Code. I really don't know what I did to myself there. Okay. Terminal. Okay. Oops. Silly thing. There we go. Let's curl that. And it can't find the SSL parameter. Okay. Let's try it without the SSL parameter. Might not actually find curl even. Okay, there it is. Now where did it go? Right into code projects. So let's have a look at this. So we'll go into my code projects directory. There it is. Let's open this up. Okay. I guess I didn't have to actually leave this environment to do that, but okay. Alright, what do we got here? So this is the thing that I want to run once I get my environment going, and I'll run it. So basically, I'll want to run the curl command to download it, and then I'll run Docker with this compose file, which doesn't really look like any compose file that I know of, but okay, yeah, no, okay, it's all kind of weirdly formatted with different names: content, services, raw content, forms, images. Yeah. It's an unusual looking 3 dots. All right. So, don't know what I'll get if I try to run that. Let's try to run it and see what I get. So I'm just doing this on my desktop here with Docker running, so it should work. So let's go back to the TLDR, and the second thing is Docker compose up, and then the -D means detach, so I'll be able to see what's happening. It won't just sort of sit there. Okay, TF. Okay, so I made a couple of changes here. Oh, but valid start byte. Okay, now let's try that. Just try that again. No. Oh, it cannot decode byte. Oh, invalid. All right, let's try downloading it again. Okay, let's try running it. Can't decode invalid start byte. So maybe because it'll only work on Debian, or I don't know. Okay, well that's kind of weird. But this whole Docker compose file looks weird to me. I mean, it sort of looks right, but it sort of doesn't look right. And what is that? So, so the TLDR. All right, well, let's try it then in the other environment, in the reclaim environment. We'll see what happens. So here's the reclaim environment has been successfully deployed. Yay. So we'll just close that, and we'll close this. And so here is the new environment. So I'll just give it a new name. Just call it Moodle, and that's just to make sure I don't confuse it with any of my actually running things. Okay, so now node ID. This is probably going to be the same in either case, I suppose. Web SSH, either way. Okay, so we're into the session. It's loading. Connecting. Okay. Now, here's the command from the Bitnami site. Let's hit enter. It liked that. Okay. So let's get the second command from the Bitnami site. Docker compose up. And you see, notice I'm not going to do anything other than that second command. So this is what you call really following the instructions. It's Docker compose up. Alright, it worked. So I don't know why it didn't work on my Windows machine, but something probably having to do with the SSL maybe, I don't know. But it couldn't read it. So, yeah. So basically what should happen here is it should pull it, it should install it, it should start it up and then tell me, well, it tells me nothing. But it has started. So what has it done? Created root MariaDB1, so it's created the database, which is a MySQL database, and root Moodle 1. So, okay, so that worked. Nice. That makes me happy. So, now how do I actually view it? Well, we'll come back up here and what we'll do is we'll open it in the browser. Can we open it browser? Should be able to open it in the browser. Config, logs, stats. Where's, like, normally you can open stuff up in a browser. There used to be. Okay, open in browser, right? So let's come down here. We don't have open in browser. Well, that's kind of weird. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. This is right. Okay, so this is our Moodle. I named the wrong thing here. Okay, so let's just name this Moodle as well. There we go. Okay. So this is the actual Moodle container, and this is the web environment on which the Moodle container is running. Open in browser. New site. Well, log in. Log into new site. Okay. Some horses, man. Okay. Now let's have a look at this. Allow empty password. Yes. Okay, so let's come back here. Let's just try Stephen. Log in. Nope. New site. Question mark. You are not logged in. Log in. Log into new site. Alright, well, let's go back to the instructions. The TLDR. Certainly installed it. Okay. So. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's the database. Create a volume for Moodle. Okay, so the application. It's still the database. Configuration. See, I'm not seeing all of this in that Docker compose file. Let's see what theirs looks like. Yeah, this is more along the lines of what I was expecting for a Docker compose file. So, let's see. So this is Maria, and now this is Moodle. Okay. let's try calling myself BN Moodle and see what happens. Let's try lost password. Let's try admin. Yeah, okay. It certainly wouldn't have been sent to me because it doesn't know. All right, let's go to Reclaim Cloud. Let's go into this environment. Right there. Oh, it's right here. So let's see. ls. There's the Docker Compose. Let's have a look at it. Yeah. Again, this is what we saw before. Okay. But it doesn't tell me how to get into it. All right, let's come back here to the instructions. These instructions. All right. Get this image. How to use this image. Right. So here we go. So. Or I could use the Docker command line. If you remove your container, all your data will be lost. I know. So make a minor change. Not worried about that yet. Mount host directories. Not worried about that yet. Configuration, environment variables. Moodle password, my password. Available environment variables. So I guess I have to actually set these in that Docker Compose file. So we come back here. Now let's see. Okay, oh, environment. So these are my environment variables. Okay, so I have my database user, no problem. So these are my environment variables for the database. So I could actually go into that database using, say, phpMyAdmin if I wanted. I'd have to install phpMyAdmin to do that. Volumes, Moodle data. Okay, so these already have Moodle data. Bitnami Moodle. Oh. So I wonder if it actually exists. Nope. So those volumes would not work. Okay. It's been a few months since I've looked at any of this kind of stuff, so I'm having to remember everything all over again. But okay. So the hard thing is actually editing this file in the cloud version. See, like, here's, okay, so like suppose I tried edit docker compose .yaml. Nope. So we could try ed. Oh, well, that'll work. And that shows me this is the old text editor. But okay, so that's something at least. Oh, Control C, Control Q. No, I'm trying to remember how to get out of it. Q. Yeah, there we go. I don't believe I actually made any changes to that. Let's try nano. Okay, well that'll work, maybe. Oh, okay, well that's better than I thought. Okay, that's good. Alright, so I can edit this. So, let's see now. Let's add. So, alright, I don't even need to do that. Okay. So, let's see what we've got here. Come back to our instructions. So enable Moodle pass. Oh, I see. Oh, that's for manual X. Okay, environment. Okay, Moodle password, my password. So let's copy that, put that in here. All right. And I also want a username, don't I? Yes, I do. So let's find that again. Come on, there we go. Moodle username. Oh, default is user. Oh, okay, well I should be able to do that then. Just log in. User. No. So it didn't use the default. Oops. Don't want to be here. But that's what I'll do is what was that? Moodle. There we go. Moodle username. Oh, default Bitnami. Okay, here we go. User and Bitnami. Just try reading stuff all the way through. Really makes a lot of sense. So user, this might actually work now. And Bitnami. Login. There we go. So, you know what would have been really useful is in the TLDR. Remember, right here. Add another line. Username, user, password, Bitnami. Now, of course, we'd want to change these in an actual deployment because, you know, everybody in the world now knows my user ID and password for this Moodle installation, but that's not what we're up to about here. Okay, so first of all, let's check the version. I don't know how to check the version. I don't know how to do much in Moodle, to be honest with you, so and I haven't read any of the instructions on how to use it. But server, Okay, let's go back home. Home. Okay, participants reports, dashboard, calendar, my courses. Okay, add, copy, delete, and hide courses from this menu. Okay, so let's create a new course. We'll call it test course. Short name. Call it test. Course category. I don't know if I have any categories defined. Okay, I'll call it the category of test. Oh, it's category 1. Okay. Suppose there's a way to add categories, but not here. I would, if it was me designing this, I would allow myself to add new categories right here. Okay, course visibility, show, start date, end date, make it a year-long course, course ID number 1. This is a test. Okay, course image, maximum file sizes are all. Okay, file picker. Ooh, I like this. Content bank, server files, recent files, upload a file, Euro downloader, private files, or Wikimedia. Ooh, cool. Let's see how that works. Oh, okay. There we go. Select this, follow. Oh, I love that. That is elegant. Do like that. Course format. Topics. What else do we have here? Single activity, topics, number of sections, hidden sections. Okay. Show all sections on one page. Appearance. Do not force a language. Announcements. Files and uploads. Completion tracking. Groups. No groups. Could add groups. Force group mode. No. Default grouping. None. Role renaming. Okay. Alright. And tags. Save and display. Okay. And course index. And tour. Okay. Not much of a tour. Okay, test course settings. Right, we just did that. Participants. One participant now, that would be me. Admin user. Okay, let's change my email address to my email address. Okay. We'll update that profile. That way, if it ever sends me email, I don't know how it would send me email, but if it ever does, okay, it would go to me and not test@example.com or whatever. Okay. That seems to have worked. So my courses, there's my one course. There it is. Looks like this is the view for the course. Oh no, this is my admin view. Topic 1, topic 2. There's nothing in any of these topics, of course. Close the course index. Right. Okay. So, site admin. Still don't know what version of Moodle I'm running under. People from Moodle, if they're looking at this, they're going, look, it's obvious, it's such and such. But to me, it's not obvious because what would I know? AU. What is this? Oh, this must be my user ID thing. Edit mode. Edit mode on. Edit mode off. Edit mode on. Edit mode off. Looks exactly the same. Okay. That's for chat. I've always thought that chat stuff should go down in the right column. And similarly, I've always thought that resources and stuff should go down in the left column. Just in terms of general site design. Okay, so that's nice. Teacher, admin user, reports, question bank, more. Okay, test course. So now suppose I gave this URL to someone who is not me. So let's copy this link, assuming this is the link for it. So let's go to someone who is not already logged in. And so all I've done is open up a new browser. We'll go. Okay, log in. Some courses may allow guest access, so I'll log in as a guest. Here I am as a guest. We'll go into test course. I guess we're in test course. Log in as a guest. Enrollment options. Oh, guests cannot access this course. All right, well, let's change that. Participants. Settings. I don't know how to change that. Oh, here we go. Default site home role. Guest. Make that the default site home role. Okay. Test site. Test site. Stephen. Okay. Site home, list of courses. Default. Okay, let's save all of that. Now let's see what happens when my stranger comes to. They're just going to go straight to the home page. Test site. Test course. Test site. Test course. Guest cannot access this course. Still a problem. All right. Let's come back here to the dashboard. No in progress courses. My course. There we go. Okay. Settings. Expand all. Okay, so course visibility show. This is a test. Course format, appearance, files, completion tracking groups, stuff, manage tags. Still don't see where I can have guests logging in. Participants. Any. Enroll users. Right, so that lets me enroll people. Permissions. There we go. Roles with permissions. Okay. Okay, most of this is for teachers and managers. Can't seem to see my scroll bar there. There it is. Don't like these narrow scroll bars that actually turn invisible or virtually invisible when you've maximized your screen. See, like, look, I maximize my screen. Where's my scroll bar? It is not there. I cannot see it. Firefox, this is on you. Alright, so I'll sort of have my screen almost maximized. Okay, and let's make the text a bit bigger so people can see what's going on. Alright. Okay, so go all the way back to the top. Let's go all the way back to the top. Okay. Advanced role override. Okay. View added and updated. Okay. Guest. XSH5 pretty much anywhere I want where it says authenticated user, I want it also to be guest. So, and is that it? View deleted modules. Authenticated user. There's another one. Self-enroll in course. Guest. Okay. Still looking for more authenticated users. Non-editing teacher. Oh, here we go. Post comments. Guest. Might be dicey. View comments. Guest. So set competency ratings, etc. View course competencies. Guest. It'd be nice to have sort of like an abbreviated version of this so that I can just say allow guest access to the course. But Moodle has never really been big on that. Add ratings to items, etc. I don't care about that. Well, I do care about that, but not right now, right? Okay, record RTC. Non-editing teacher, authenticated user on site home, guest, view chat activity. See if we can find enroll. Enrollments, no. See, let's come back here. It says guest cannot access this course. Let's reload and see if we can now. No, still can't access this course. So let's go to the permissions and see if there's one called access. Guest access. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's right near the top, but not that close to the top. Okay, guest access. Oh, no, let's just configure guest access instances. Alright, but it looks like there's a screen here. This allows... Okay, this allows a user to add or delete the guest access enrollment plugin to a course via administration, course administration, users, enrollment methods, provided it has been. Okay. Well, I have pretty much everything. Okay, and see also guest access. Oh, and it's actually taken me to the Moodle homepage. How can guest access my Moodle courses? This is crazy. Like, oh my goodness. Why do we have to do all of this crap? Okay. Click, okay, from course navigation, click participants, then click enrollment method, guest access. So let's go to my course. That's not it. Where's my course? Yeah, here we go. Okay, so let's go home. No, let's go to the dashboard. No. Site administration. Okay, let's move this test site to the end here so I don't lose it. Because I keep losing it, right? Okay. Guest access. From course navigation, click participants. So, courses. Okay. Settings. Nope. My courses. Test course. Here we go. Okay. From course navigation. Alright, I guess that's here. select participants. Is that right? Okay. And then the drop down, you click from the drop down, click enrollment method. From the drop down, there are many drop downs. Okay, see, this is a bad kind of interface device, right? Because you don't see what the options are unless you think to click on it, but you don't think to click on it. Okay, so enrollment methods. So really, this screen should be redesigned so that these are just live options. So you just have this list here of options, and then when you click on this list, you know, you click on, say, enrollment methods, right? Instead of reloading this entire screen, that menu would still stay there, and then you just change a pane, right? So that your navigation is always present. And you might think, well, how can you do that? Because, you know, you're just using up all of your interface and navigation. But look at all this white space here. It's interesting. On your screen there, it seems to appear gray. On my screen, it just appears white. Now, maybe that goes away if I narrow this canvas. No, it doesn't. So, for some reason, this is all super wide. Right, so you can make the interface a bit more responsive. Okay, so guest access. Okay, now let's continue now. Guest access. Okay. With other themes, click administration, course administration, users, enrollment methods, and then guest access. Enable guest access by clicking on the eye icon or by choosing it in the add method drop down menu. So the eye, okay, that's the I see. So I can click on the eye. Okay. Lost my sense of that. Or by choosing it in the add method drop down menu. Let's check the add method. Right, okay. And I'm going to make this up higher. Just to make that, I guess, the default. And let's see what this does. Allow guest access, yes. Password. Why would you need a password for guest access? Moodle has never been about open access. That's all I can say. All I can say. Okay, but this should all work now. Save. So let's come back here now to my person. So let's refresh this screen. Okay. Let's go into the course. There we go. Now I can see the course. Again, still with the bad layout. Right? See, look at this. Wow. Yeah. I don't like this being that wide. I can see, okay, I guess what's happening here is it's centering this column. But it's not it's centering it, but sort of like this. And not centering it on the screen as a whole. And if I close this side column, yeah, see now it's centered on the page as a whole. Here it centers it based on whatever it thinks is left over after the column. So I can see what it's doing, but it's, you know, it's designed almost for a vertical layout and not a horizontal layout. Okay, course competencies, no competencies have been linked to the course. All right, so that's pretty good. And it's just organized in terms of topics. I'm not feeling really empowered here. Okay. course, I'd probably be more empowered if I knew more. So test site, home, courses, teacher, admin, user, test course. Here I am in my course. I can edit my course. Let's turn the edit mode on. Right, now we see some differences, right? Now I can add an activity or resource. Okay, yeah, here we go. I like this. So, general. Okay, add an activity or resource. Ah, now we've got some stuff. Okay, so we can add some resources. Like what? Let's add a forum. Test course forum. Say what you want to say. Standard forum for general use. Availability. Okay, that's and due date. Cutoff date. Attachment and word count. Okay. Oh yeah, I hate these things that have. Oh, okay, it's not a limitation, it's just display. Subscription and tracking, optional. Okay. Read tracking, optional or off. Discussion locking. Right, after certain periods of inactivity. Post threshold for blocking. Whole forum grading. Yeah. Ratings. Yeah. Common module settings. Okay. Restrict access. None. Activity completion. Right, because making a comment in a forum is an activity that you must report. Competencies, course competencies, no selection. We'll come back to that later. Save and return to course. Alright, let's save. Okay, so there we go. Forum. Announcements, forum, test course forum, test course forum. Alright, anything else we want to add? Let's add a wiki. So here we go. We'll add the wiki. So we'll call it test wiki. Okay, wikify to your heart's content. Didn't spell this correctly. It wasn't a spell change. Display description on course page. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, save and return to course. There are required fields in this forum. First page name. Oh, let's call it first page. Save and return to course. Test wiki. Let's maybe fix that. Oh, edit. Edit settings. There we go. Let's save and return to course. Good. Alright, topic 1. Let's add a SCORM package. Okay. Well, I want to find them. See this now, right here. Now, I can imagine maybe there's a plugin or something. But what I want to be able to do, instead of filling in all of this, I want to be able to find one and add that rather than creating my own new SCORM package. Why would I want to do that? So here's the package file. So files, right, so it's going to have a location. Here we go, content bank or Wikimedia or no files available, recent files, upload a file, private files, Wikimedia, and of course Wikimedia is not. Well, let's see, let's just search for test. Submit. Okay. Well, this is okay. It's Wikimedia, so it's all images. Okay, so let's put this test thing here, right? Because images can't be associated. It's not a SCORM package, right? So what I'd want here, right? Well, I'd want two things actually. The first and main and most important thing I'd want here is find my content for me, so I don't have to. But let's assume there's a plugin or something for that. Secondly, don't want to call it a new SCORM package, because I know it's a SCORM package, but I wish we could be more generic than saying SCORM package. All right, well, let's cancel out of this. See what else we can add. Now, I know Alan Levine loves the H5P stuff. Right, so adding a new H5P. Here we go. Use the content bank. But again, I don't have any content in my content bank, right? So, this is the bit that's missing in this out-of-the-box thing, is I don't have content here ready for me. So, okay, well let's go back. Let's go back. Let's not jump the gun just yet. I want to jump the gun. Book. Let's add a book. Again, no books. All right, I have no books to add. In fact, this I can't even upload the file. It's got to be. I guess I'm adding what, a real book. I don't know. What else? Add a choice, add a database, add an external tool. So this would be presumably an LTI, Learning Tool Interoperability Interface. Okay, but again, we have nothing to add. So IMS content package. See, IMS content package, SCORM package, virtually the same thing. So I'd want to be more generic there, and so that the person adding the resource doesn't have to think about that, or well, for that matter, any of this stuff. Add a survey. So again, it's going to have to be in TTLS. Okay, let's try that. Test survey. Test survey. And save and return to course. Alright. Test survey. Oh, attitudes toward thinking and learning. ATTL. Alright, we see that's nice. That's handy. That's the way it should work. Except, of course. Oh, and this is added to the course and not topic 1. Okay. Let's go back. I wanted it to go into topic 1. Oh well. Survey. Right. Choose. So there's the attitudes, calls, critical incidents. Are there more? It just goes A to C. You'd think it would be more. T. Okay, let's save and return to course. Okay, there's the survey. Right, relevance. Okay, again, this is nice. I like that. I like that it's involved, like it's included as part of the default. I do like that. I wish there was a way to get more different types of things. But all right, choice. Allow choice to be updated. Okay. What else do we have here? Folder, lesson, wiki, URL. That's pretty obvious. Lesson. Okay, now that's going to be, I'd make my own lesson, I guess. Test lesson. Learn your lesson. Save and return to course. Test lesson. Okay. Right, now I can edit my lesson, add cluster, add a content page. Add a cluster, I mean. Unseen question within a cluster. Okay. Settings, reports. Right, no attempts have been made on this lesson. Could not find lesson pages. That's probably why no attempts were made on it. So test lesson, settings, general. Okay, where are my pages? How do I add pages to it? I don't know. Appearance? No. Availability? No. Flow control? No. Competencies? How do I add pages to my lesson? Reports? No. Test lesson? Okay, more information about this error. Tools. Lesson cannot find pages. Okay, that doesn't help me at all. Because I'm trying to see, I have a lesson here. More. Backup, restore. Lesson, mark as done. Edit settings, move, hide. So I guess it's a thing. I don't know, just add an activity or resource. I think that's still part of topic 2, right? Yeah. Chat. Save and return to course. Right, so that's something separate from the lesson. So I don't know how to add pages to a lesson. Presumably there's a way. Okay, this bothers me. Add pages to a lesson. Let's try to find out how to do that. The Moodle lesson tool. Lecture 3, adding pages to a lesson. Oh my goodness. 6-minute video on how to add a page to a lesson.
Hello, and welcome to part 2 of the third lecture in this series of lectures.
Yeah.
Note, the links are all hidden when you first open a page. You can expand them all with this handy-dandy little link here. But what if I wanted more links?
Okay, there are hidden links. All right, let's go back. Right. Okay. Okay, there are hidden links. Open block drawer, add a block. No. More. Well, let's see what adding a block does. Blog menu. Add a block, course overview. Nope. Nope. Courses. This is all the way back. All the way back to my lesson. Let's go into my lesson. Okay, that doesn't help me. More. Okay.
The third lecture in this series of lectures on the lesson tool in Moodle.
Let's
If
be
you're
patient.
viewing this lecture through the lesson on Moodle, then you are here. So here is my lesson, and all it has right now is one page, which is the main menu. And the next thing I need to do is add these other content
Okay,
pages.
this is an older
But
version. See, this is an older version, right? So, see, I don't really have this view. So, this video isn't going to help me in that regard. But let's open the test lesson. No. And then the chat. Okay, so this it's there. Oh my goodness. Well, what changes if I turn this off? Oh, everything. Oh my. That was a bit bouncy. Takes me all the way back to the dashboard. I guess it's because I was in editing my thing here. Test lesson. Updating sessions. Okay, let's try flow control. No. Expand all. Well, this is a real puzzle. Test lesson. Because this whole concept isn't going to work if I can't add pages to my lessons. Lesson continue. Overview. No attempts have been made on this lesson. Right, because that's the report, detailed statistics, more permissions, backups. Right click. Let's try Moodle 4, add page to lesson. Okay.
Assigning the content page and saving the page. We go to our Moodle course and choose the weekly outline section or the topic section where we want to add the activity. In this case, we are going to design a lesson. So we click on Turn Editing On and we click on Add an activity or resource. We click on Lesson and we click on Add. We have to complete some fields and we have to follow some steps in order to design the lesson.
Yeah.
The lesson is a module in which we can add both resources and activities. So we can combine them in order to add information to our students, and we can add resources in the content pages. We can add the activities in the question pages, and then we can move either the content or the question pages.
Okay.
So we are going to design the content of a lesson. First of all, we need to complete the name block of the lesson.
Yep.
In this case, we are going to write designing a lesson. In the description block, we are going to complete. So we can either complete it or not, because it is not necessary. And we can click on display description on course page. We
So
will
far,
write,
so
we
good.
will learn how to design a lesson. We scroll down and we click on save and display. Here we can choose what we want to add to our lesson.
Okay.
So we can add a content page, we can add a cluster, add a question page, or we can import questions. In this case, we are going to click on add a content page.
Okay,
We are going
this
to
is
complete
the thing
the
that's
page
missing.
title block and the page.
All right, that's the thing that was missing. So let's go down here. We'll go to topic. Let's add an activity or resource. We'll add a lesson. Right. So we'll give it a name, give it a description, and we'll scroll down, and we'll save and save and display. Now we can add a content page. If you just click save and return, you run into the trouble that I did. Content page. Okay. Add a content page. Content 1, content 2. Right. This page. Content 1. To the next page. Content 2. Jump to the next page, content 3, jump to the next page, content 4, jump to the next page, content 5. Oh, I guess I should have been saving these all along, eh? Oh, okay, let's see. Right, jumps, content, content page, jumps, next page, next page, next page. Let's have a look and see what that looks like. Okay, it's just going to display all of this. So now we go back to the lesson. I can edit my lesson. Here's all my pages. Add a new page. I can add new pages. Okay. But now, see, if we come back here, I have no pages. No nothing in that lesson. So, and then there's no way it appears to edit this lesson. I see, okay, you'd have to save and display down here, but I can't. Updating lesson on topic 2. Okay, yeah, so I get stuck in a loop where I'm never able to, so unless I get that right the first time, I'm going to be in trouble. But this one kind of works. And now if we'll go to topic 4, we'll add another one. So we'll add a lesson. And so we'll just call this one L and L. I'm getting lazier and lazier as time goes by. Save and display. Right, so now I could import questions or add a cluster, add a content page, or add a question page. Let's import questions. File format, gift format, upload. Yeah, see now, missing word format. All right, let's do that. Oh, I actually have to import something. I can't. So what am I going to do? Go back? Guess I'd have to go back. Let's try going back. Let's try going back. Let's try going back. All right, so we end up back here. Add a content, add a cluster. Unseen question within a cluster. Page title cluster. And stuff, okay. Page title cluster. Jump one unseen question within a cluster. Import questions again. So there's a whole ontology of stuff here that I'm not familiar with. That's okay. You know, every product, every community has its own way of looking at things. So let's go. Let's take my open. Okay, so I can go in here. I could go into the test wiki if I wanted. Oh, create page. Permission needed. So he can't. So you're gonna have to make all of this available to guests. You have to go back into all those permissions. test survey. I'll bet you I run it this. Well, I don't know. Okay, test lesson. Okay, so this is right. That's the one that's broken. And I would actually have to remove the lesson and replace it to fix that. Here's the one that I made with my 5 content pages. Oh, return to test course. Oh, well, that's kind of weird. Content 2, content 4. But there isn't a next button. Remember, there was supposed to be a next. Mark is done. Can't mark that as done, I guess, as a guest. So, yeah, there's some navigation issues there, where in theory I could go from content 1 through to content 5. But remember, I made it so that they would all just go to the next page. Well, that's not what happens. It takes me back to the test course all the way up to the main menu. And then this last one here, could not find lesson pages again. So, yeah, not really big on these lessons. So what else can I add here? If I could just add a page. Let's find a page. External tool, assignment, book, survey URL, workshop. Again, don't know what I'll get here. Maybe nothing. Okay, workshop. Let's call it W and W. Okay, grading strategy. Competencies, etc. Example submissions. Save and return to course. Now let's try to go into that workshop. Ah, look at this. So again, it's sort of like a predefined thing. Eh? So that's pretty nice. You can move. You're about to switch. Okay, so I see what's happening. You are running the workshop. It's an asynchronous workshop. Provide instructions for submission. Submission settings, maybe. Nothing to submit. Let's try that. Okay. La-di-da-di-da. We'll save and display. Okay, so I've done that. Edit assessment form. Switch to the next phase. Okay. And then close workshop. That's pretty cool. I like that. And again, you'd sort of need to have a feel for it. So now I, as the guest user here, so let's come back in. Here's my workshop. The workshop is still being set. Okay. So please wait until it just switch to the next phase. So, and that's what's going to happen. I'll do stuff on the instructor end, and then the user will just sort of follow along and do things. Good. I like that. That's pretty smart. And it's simple, right? And you know, okay, it's very structured, but I get the concept, and I like that. So, okay, so what am I missing here now? So I guess there's two things that I'm thinking about at the moment. Well, try to find my course again. There we go. The first thing is finding stuff like SCORM packages or whatever that I can add to my course. That's the first thing, and that's a pretty important thing. And then the second thing I'm thinking about is plugins. Moodle has plugins. Can I add a plugin? How would that work? I like the calendar too. Dashboard, add a block to my dashboard. Comments, latest badges, logged in user. That's kind of cool too. All of that sort of stuff. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and I think as you worked with this more, you'd learn more about it. Site administration. Okay. I haven't touched the competencies yet. Import competency framework. Again, where's my search, right? I have to drag and drop files. Every time. This seems to be pretty consistent. Every time I go to add something, I don't have access to this external library of resources that I'd really like to have. Badges, H5P settings, license settings, payments, Moodle Net. This is the stuff that Doug Belshaw was working on. I don't know if this is what he actually designed or what they replaced it with at Moodle. I'm not sure. I'm sure Doug could talk to me a lot more about it. Plugins. Okay, install plugins. Plugins overview. Here we go. Okay. Big blue button. Is it already? Oh, is it already? Oh, it's just disabled. Okay, these are some that are already in. But okay, there's book, so on. All right, so all of these plugins are things that I could have added. So if I enable big blue button, let's try enabling it. Settings. Okay, we're just going to test shared secret. Okay, the default secret is for a free big blue button service. Okay, so I won't worry about that. BBB. Okay, where does it say enable? Okay, let's save the changes. And okay, plugins overview, big blue button. There we go. It's still disabled. How do I enable it? Enabled settings. Let's find something that's enabled and see. Chat method, default Ajax. Yeah, like everyone's gonna know what that means. That's the first thing that we look at. No. Chat server daemon. Yeah. But again, I don't see anything here that says how to enable it or disable it. So, yeah, let's find out. Moodle 4, not like I'm gonna get anything from Moodle 4. Enable plugin. Okay, click on plugin. And then click on plugin I. Click on plugins I. Okay. I don't have an eye. These don't have eyes. Settings. Oh, there it is. An eye. No, that's just to reveal. Save. So that didn't help me. Oh, that's old. Never mind. Oh. Wow. Look at this. It's trying to make me log on. Wow. Okay, let's just make sure it's saying enable. I haven't even gotten to install yet. Okay, go to administration, site administration, plugins, install plugins. Okay, plugins. Okay, install plugins. I get it. Install plugins from the Moodle plugins directory. Okay. To install a plugin directly on your Moodle site, you need to log in with your Moodle.org account. Alternatively, you can browse the plugins directory as a guest and download a plugin for installing manually on your site. Okay, cards download. Alright. Did that download it? No. Download. There we go. Okay, so let's see where that is. So show in folder. So, okay, it just went to new folder. That's where all my downloads go. So there's nothing unusual there. Yours would probably go to download. So, okay, let's come back here. We'll go back to my course. And let's install a plugin from the zip file. So we'll upload from new folder. In other words, where I downloaded it. And let's see if I can find this. Like I said, all of my downloads come in here. Let's make this a bit easier to search through details. And let's sort it by date. And here we go. Zoom Moodle, that's today's date. We'll open this. Okay, save as Zoom. Oops, don't need an extra space in that. Alright, choose license, upload. Install plugin from zip file. Okay, continue. Okay. Ooh, look at all these. Oh, but okay, that's fine. Site not HTTPS. If this test fails, it indicates a potential problem. Yeah, okay. Max input vars. Okay. Server meets all the minimum requirements. Let's continue. Okay. So far, so good. To be installed. Okay. Upgrade Moodle database now. Oh. No, that's not what I expected. Okay, test site. Here we go. That's more like what I expected. I need a Zoom API key, and a Zoom API secret, and a Zoom homepage URL. Right. I actually have those. I don't know if I want to use them here. Okay. And then these are all the Zoom options. So we'll just save this. It might break because it wants this. Okay, the Moodle app is not enabled. Okay. Enable web services for mobile devices. Let's do that. App policy URL, we'll just save. Mobile settings, we'll just save. Save. Site policy will be used instead. Okay. So let's come back to plugins. Install plugins. Let's go back to plugins, plugins overview. The zoom should be here somewhere. There it is. And it shows as enabled, although it's not going to work because I haven't put in the key, the secret. But it shows as enabled. Isn't that nice? The big blue button. Still disabled. Big blue button plugin. Right. Big blue button is disabled by default. Okay, site administration plugins, manage activities. Okay, let's see. Plugins, manage activities. Ah. I see. So to enable the plugins, you go to manage activities. So I could turn off my zoom, which shouldn't be available. Okay. That's a bit unintuitive. But now my big blue button thing should be enabled. Let's have a look. Plugin overview. Big blue button enabled. Awesome. Now let's go to my course and let's add big blue button. Room with recordings. Room with recordings. Okay. Save and return. All right. Now let's have my guest user. Remember my guest user? Go back to the course. Okay, go back to the course. Maybe reload. Because I don't think the change took effect automatically. I wouldn't expect it to. Topic 1. I still don't see it. Okay, I can't remember where I put it in my course before. Right after the survey. Oh, it's in general. Okay. Didn't mean to put it there, but I did. So let's go back to my course. Survey. Oh, it's not in general. I wonder why. Reload. Shift reload. That's maybe I didn't save something. No, should be there. Should be there. I can join the session, but my guest user doesn't seem to be able to join the session. Let's enter the course in from scratch. No, doesn't seem to be available. I might have to assign permissions. That's not what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Okay, site administration. Competencies, badges. I'm looking for that now for that great big permissions page. Remember, I found it before, but users. User policies. Yeah, this is it, I think. No. Moodle guest permission to use big blue button. Here we go. You might have found a bug. I wonder if they ever solved that bug. Big blue button doesn't have support for guest users. Okay. So that's worth knowing. Okay, I just had to redefine the guest to allow joining to a meeting. Okay. Manage roles, guest. Okay. And there's the other page. Yeah, okay, activity, this is that big page, but I don't know where it is. It's probably on this, though. Permissions, define roles. Okay. So here we go. Permissions. It's got to be here somewhere. Roles. Admin users permissions, define roles. Here we go. No. Okay. Join a big blue button room. Allow. Well, that should be okay. That was kind of annoying. It popped me from one tab to another instead of taking me to the page. Join big blue button room. Mod big blue button join. Big blue button, general settings. Nope. Now, I might not be able to solve this. It's not a major thing, obviously, because I'm just playing around. But it would be a major thing if I wanted to use big blue button on a MOOC that I ever ran, where all the guests would be guests. And again, it's these are the roles that they can assign others. Definition of the role of guest. And most of these are allowed, right? Don't allow them to view the users, obviously. Join a big blue button room. This page does not exist yet. Okay. And again, it took me out of my thing and into the Moodle website, the Moodle Docs website. All right. So, yeah, okay, I don't know how to make that work, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it does somewhat. I guess I still wasn't successful here, right? Nope. So I don't know how to make my guest enter the big blue button room. And it might be that no matter what the permissions say, it's just not supported by big blue button. That's entirely possible. Okay, that's still all kind of interesting. Let's just come back here. Permissions, roles for visitors. Okay. No, there's nothing else there. Okay, let's go. Analytics. Well, let's test it at least for the admin, so I get a feel for what it's like. So, admin user. Oh no, I don't want to get my home screen. I want to go to my course. You sort of wonder, like, I look at this layout here, and I think, how did they decide how this layout is going to work? You know, because the link to get into it isn't the icon, it isn't this description, it's up here. But the text isn't larger or anything like that, and actually the most highlighted link is the teacher. And you sort of wonder, did they do testing? Did they do A/B testing on it or something like that? Or I don't know. Okay, let's join the session, see how this works. And yeah, would you like to join with audio? Allow. Hello. Hello. Yes.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
Okay, and I can turn on my camera. Oh, but it might not find a webcam for me, so. Alright, let's see if it allows. Start sharing. Could not get webcam video. Yeah, because it's being used by my recording. Okay. So, alright, no problem. This works just fine. That's great. So I'm almost done my exploration. The last thing is, yeah, so I pretty much figured out the plugins. We could go back to home, I guess site admin for plugins. Yeah, plugins. Right. So these are all the plugins, and then manage activities, common activity settings, and then some specific things for the individual plugins, admin tools. I could spend days probably looking at all of these other plugins. Now, let's just try the other. This is my other question that I had. Remember, I had two questions, one about the plugins, one about the resource networks. So, Moodle, resources, shared repositories. Okay, shared resource, that's a plugins directory. Resource repositories. Okay. Oh, well, that's 2012. We don't care about that. Let's restrict it, say, to the last year. Okay, repositories, here we go. Standard repositories. Okay, content bank, etc. Okay, managing repositories, here we go. Enabling repositories. Okay, site admin, plugins, repositories, manage repositories. So let's go. Site admin, plugins, repositories. Here we go. Repositories, manage repositories. Content bank, server files, upload a file, Wikipedia, here we go. Legacy course files, Dropbox, Equella, enabled and visible. Alright, so Merlot, here we go, enabled. But I need a license to use this, I guess. I need a license to use Merlot. Interesting. So much for open educational resources there, Merlot. Nextcloud, which is probably what I would use. Google Drive. Right. Flickr Public. Enabled and visible. I need a Flickr API key. Okay. So, YouTube videos. I need the Google API key. So I'm not impressed by that. It'd be interesting. Why isn't there, just out of the box, federated content repository for Moodle? Like embedded files, content bank, etc., etc. Like H5P files, RSS. I see nothing as far as RSS here, etc. SCORM and stuff. There's no SCORM repository here. The only thing is Merlot, and I can't access it. So anyhow, let's go back to my courses. Let's see if I can at least add something. We'll turn on edit mode again. Let's see, it's add an activity or resource. Is YouTube here now? No, YouTube is not here. Let's go with, I don't know, URL. No, it's just going to say URL. Same with the other repositories. Let's see. Let's try something else. Oh wait, I don't want it. I want it to go to a topic. You'd think it would just. Wonder what that does. Activities, resources. Oh, okay. Yeah. IMS content package. Right, that's right. So let's try to choose a file from, and I get nothing. So even though I added those repository sources, I still don't see how to set them up here so that I can actually add them. So that's awkward, right? That's not really how it should work. I want to add lesson is currently being previewed. Content page. Topic 3. Here we go. Add. Well, that's add topic. Add an activity or resource. SCORM package. Let's try that. Package file. Files. No. Package file. Drag and drop. Upload. Private files. Wikimedia. No. File picker. I don't know. I don't see how I would. Let's go back home. Site administration. Repositories. Control F. Repositories. No, it's not here. Into where it was. Development, experimental. Yeah, I like all that. General. Repositories. Manage repositories. Common repository settings. Let's do that first. Nope. Let's just Common repository settings. Manage repositories. Okay. Quilla, enable invisible. Oh, 0 instances. I have to create a. Okay. So. Right. So, how about YouTube? Oh, YouTube videos is right, because I still need to use the API key settings. So let's create a repository instance. Right, but that's going to be something that's local and not external. So, as far as I can see, there's really limited ways of adding external content to your Moodle course. I mean, it's there. It can be done. But this is nothing like easy. Certainly not the way I would want to do it. I mean, if I'm building a Moodle course, I'm actually looking at something fairly involved. And more involved than I'd want it to be personally. But hey, this is an episode of Stephen Follows Instructions, and on the whole, what was advertised worked. And that's really unusual for this series. So I'm going to take that as a thumbs up. It does work. I have it running on Reclaimed Cloud. No problem. I would need to edit my environment variables to set my own password and so on. I would probably want to run it behind a load balancer or something like that. Unless I could just, enable this. But so I'd need to do a few things to set up the URL for it, to set up the SSL security for it, and use Let's Encrypt in order to make it secure. I'd need to set up the environment variables so that you can't just guess them out of the box. And then I could mess around with this, and I actually could offer this. But would I use it? Well, I basically have to build my course from scratch here on this Moodle site. Maybe I can export it so other Moodle sites can use it. But I don't have good access to what we might call harvested or aggregated resources. If I belonged to a learning institution, like a university or something like that, I could harvest from all my local resources. Maybe if I belong to a consortium or something like that, I can harvest consortium resources. I might be given these lists, like there's a Moodle admin for the institution, and they're handling all of that for me, and then I can just search and add. But if it's just me, I can't just run a Moodle installation on Google Cloud by myself and have access to these various resources, except perhaps Merlot will give me an API key, and then I could use their resources. So that would be something. But there does seem to be missing that element of content sharing. The other thing that's missing, and maybe this is, maybe this resource thing is what Doug was trying to do with MoodleNet. I'm not sure. I'll have to come back and ask him about that. But also, too, I don't really have federated communications. When I'm working here, and maybe I'm just missing it. This is like a few hours and that's it. But, it'd be nice to have access to a community of other people working with Moodle. Not that they would really appreciate my newbie questions necessarily, but everybody starts somewhere, so maybe they wouldn't mind either. Although they'd be saying, "Well, look, it's Stephen Downes. You really should know better. You should know the answers to all of these by now." No, you don't. It's funny. It's funny how that works. anyhow, that's my first impressions of Moodle 4, and it's been a long time since I looked at Moodle, so I'm glad I did. I hadn't looked at Moodle before because it was just so impossible to use without somebody having a login. I see it's better now for that. I see it's not perfect now for that. Certainly not the default. The default is lock it down, close it up. But at least there's a way to unlock the door, kind of open it up a bit. And maybe there's a way to make things like Big Blue Button work. That's the sort of thing. If I was running a course, right, especially if I had something like MoodleNet, I'd reach out and say, well, how do I do this? How do I do this specific thing? How do I enable Big Blue Button access to guest users? And maybe somebody would say, well, no, you can't. Somebody else would say, well, no, you can, but you need to do such and such. Or maybe it doesn't work for people using Chrome or whatever. Who knows? But the other thing is the layout, and I guess there are other themes you could use. I didn't really explore that at all, but I can't imagine that there wouldn't be themes. There's the whole world of Moodle plugins I haven't really explored in depth, and it's the sort of thing it could take a while to learn this, but not that long. I think just looking at what I've seen, I think it's possible to become pretty familiar with it. If you offered a course in it and spent the time that you would expect to spend offering a course, you could become reasonably familiar with Moodle, especially like the single user instance of Moodle like this, like I did it here, probably within the time you offered that course. If I could figure out how to make RSS work with Moodle so I could do things like aggregate content, I would consider using it for a MOOC. If I could figure out how to get any external content into Moodle, on a synchronous basis, or at least an asynchronous but polling kind of basis, I would consider using it. Also, I didn't test any email elements. I don't know if this will send email out of the box. That's something I would need to look at. Let's just take a quick look here. Test course. I'm not logged in, so I can't do that. So, but that's something else, and it might be a bit tricky to send email. Although there may be an email plugin for Mailgun or something like that. That's how I would set it up. That's how I did set it up in Grasshopper. And it's a whole lot easier than trying to set up an email server in a Docker container, because that's craziness. Even if it worked, and maybe you could get it to work, but there's very few email hosts out there in the world that would accept email coming in from a fly-by-night Docker container. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up here. Pretty pleased with how this went, and so we'll call that another episode of Stephen Follows Instructions. As they say on Twit, it's